Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today's a very special episode, and for a couple reasons. Normally, we don't get involved in municipal politics, but there's a very unique situation because here at the show, we believe that the only way to fix a broken system is to take out the career politicians and put in the working class individuals to lead the way. And I think the city of Airdrie may have found that solution. All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Pleased to be joined by not a politician, local businessman in Airdrie, Dave Douglas, who has decided to put his hat in the ring for the mayor's office. So, Dave, before we actually get into your campaign, let's tell Alberta and I guess our people in Airdrie a little bit of where you started in your background.
Sure. So basically born and raised in Calgary. Both me and my wife are. In 2010, we decided to move here to Airdrie and loved it ever since. We created our family here, our business, and we don't intend to leave. We love the province, we love the city, and we'll never move back to Calgary, that's for sure.
So tell me about your business.
So what we do, we're called Airdrie Bouncy Castles. We rent out bouncy castles for events, birthday parties, rodeos, stuff like that. We're busy basically start of March all the way to the end of October. Some events during Christmas, and yeah, we just pulled out a straight four platinum win on the Airdrie votes, best entertainer, best entertainment, stuff like that. We take care of all the major events in Cochrane, none in Airdrie, which is an issue we had with the city hall. That's not just with us, that was with previous companies as well, just
Right.
the bouncy castle industry, I guess. But we do a lot of custom or charity work as well. Here in Airdrie, Cochrane, Crossfield, Carstairs, we try to give back as much as we get. And yeah, I love the business. I'm not becoming running for mayor to get away from it.
Right.
I would rather be just doing that. I'm running to make some changes that desperately need to be done here in the city.
Perfect. So I mean, why bouncy castles? Like where did that begin?
So basically, um, just before COVID, a lady here in Airdrie was just selling two small little bouncy castles that she was renting out. She was being transferred to Houston.
Okay.
And we looked at it and just little toddler ones. I was like, hey, it's a little extra cash on the side. Um, we were expecting our firstborn pretty quick and we figured give it a shot. The COVID popped up out of nowhere about 2 weeks before we were going to start
Right.
actually doing it. And so, of course, nobody knew what was going to happen during COVID. And sorry, there you go. Nobody knew what was going to happen, like zombies or Lord knows what. So lockdown came. We just decided just to go with the flow, see what was happening. End of May came around, the end of the first lockdown, and we gave it a shot, and it blew up. By the end of that first summer, we had 8 small ones that we were renting out. 2 months later, a company here in Airdrie that did conventions, they had two big, huge bouncies, commercial ones. They went out of business, obviously, and they sold them to us for a really great price. And then it was the following April, or no, sorry, June. One of the three remaining companies here in Airdrie that did bouncy castles approached us. He was a paramedic and a firefighter here in Airdrie. She was the head testing nurse here at the testing center for COVID,
Mhm.
and the mandate was coming through for vaccinations.
Right.
He's from Florida, so you can see where his leeway
Yeah.
was. They called me up out of the blue, said, "Do you want to buy our company?" I said yes. They give us a sweet deal, helped us out. Within 3 months of that, I think they were gone down, moved down to the States. And it changed our life. And I ended up quitting my job. We do this full time. I do about 40, 50 hours a weekend during the spring and summer,
Yeah.
but I love it. We enjoy it. It supports our family through almost all the months, including
Right.
winter. But no, I wouldn't give it up for anything, but take a step back to be the mayor of our city. Well, yeah, I would definitely do that.
And see, that's an amazing effort. Like that's contributing to the economy here in Airdrie, to the community, something for the kids as well.
Mhm.
Um, so with that business experience, how does that translate for you to Airdrie?
Well, one of the things, and it wasn't the only business that we've owned. We owned another business before that that we were actually doing here in Airdrie. low voltage for Genesis, Mattamy, and other home builders in the new houses. That one, I just woke up one day, it's like, yeah, I'm really done dealing with this,
Yeah.
and we ended up selling it. But with both businesses, first off, I did not know anything about commercial bouncy castles when I started.
Right.
Um, I knew they could be dangerous. I knew there were risks involved. I didn't know which ones to get, but that didn't stop me.
Mhm.
And I just quickly picked up what I needed to do to learn, and make sure everything is safe and go from there. It wasn't a brick wall to stop us from doing it. Same with the previous company we owned. I've heard a lot of people say, well, you have no experience. Yeah, you're right. But you know what? I'm not afraid of that.
Maybe
Maybe
that's
that
the answer.
maybe that's the answer. And I will learn fast to make sure I do uh, the great job that I know I can do
Yeah.
for the city. Um, Apart from that, having a small business in the economies we've gone through, like during COVID, after COVID, and being able to succeed with this business has taught me that, you know what, maybe you don't need the shiny new truck right now, or you don't need to do this, or maybe secondhand. That kind of fiscal responsibility, I think,
Yeah.
is what the city desperately needs as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, you were the first person to really put your hat in the ring
Mhm.
for this one. And it was kind of a shock to me at first because, big shoes to fill with Peter Brown
Yeah.
leaving.
Mhm.
And even when you first put your hat in the ring, he hadn't exactly said he was going
Right.
to step aside.
Mhm.
And before he even did that, was there a thought in your mind that tough competition against me, thinking
Um,
that he could potentially come back and try and go again?
I mean, I'll admit this is all new to me. One day it could be a little daunting and looking at what's coming, but then the next day it's like, no, this is what I want to do. This is the job I know I can perform. I look at the competition as in with Mayor Brown, just the feeling I got from a lot of people I talked to.
Hmm.
It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Um, I know I don't step back from a challenge ever. And now that he's out of the picture and that my two opponents, current counselors, have stepped in, again, at first it's like, I don't know much about them. This is going to be a problem. And no, I don't believe it is. I'm up for the challenge. I believe that basically Airdrie wants change. They want something different. They don't want the same old, same old. They want to feel listened to, and they want to be able to approach their elected officials and actually say, look, this is what we want. We don't want this.
Yeah.
And actually feel heard. Just someone to talk to a lot of times. I took a phone call from a senior citizen about 4 days ago.
Hmm.
9:30 at night, she called, and I answered, and she was like in shock. Like, she thought she was going to get like a machine or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I answer this phone because it's also for our business. And she started telling me about her issues at the urgent care,
Hmm.
which is not something that a mayor we can really deal with. But she, at the end of the phone call, which is about half an hour, she says, you know what, you've got my vote because you actually listened, you actually picked up the phone, you did what you said you were going to do. And I intend on doing that all through the election process. And if I get elected, all through the while I'm the mayor of Airdrie,
Right.
I will pick up the phone when someone calls. If I don't answer it because I'm in a council meeting, that's fine. I'm going to call them back as soon as I'm out
Yeah.
and talk to them. And if they want to meet for coffee, I meet for coffee.
Yeah.
And I may not be able to help them fix the pothole in their alleyway right away or whatever the issue is,
Because it'll go on
but
the books.
it'll go in the book. Exactly. And I'll listen to them,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what an elected official should do. I know our federal and provincial governments don't do that all the time, but you know what? At this level of government, it should be a no-brainer.
Absolutely. And I mean, you talk about your two opponents, and actually, right now, as we're recording, it's one because um, not Tina, but Heather Spearman
Right,
has not actually
right,
filed her nomination
right.
as of yet. Heather, that's on you. Um,
She has changed her name on Facebook to Heather for mayor.
okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't seen that one
no,
yet, but when we talk about competition, I actually think you're the competition for them because the thing to me, and I think to many other Albertans and people of Airdrie, see is that they're career politicians.
mhm,
They're polished, they're scripted, they've done it a while
mhm,
without actually listening to the people.
mhm,
You're not one of them.
no,
You're working class business owner.
mhm,
You actually have like a customer service side. You know how to speak to people, you know how to listen to people,
mhm,
right? So I think the real challenge is actually for them. Um, but that being said, too, when I look at your campaign, a couple things stand out.
Mhm.
Um, and I think right now the biggest for me, my family, for people I speak to, is your taxes,
Mhm.
your policy on taxes, not raising them.
Mhm.
Lowering them, I think, is kind of off the books
Yeah.
because it's not possible right now.
Right.
But speak to me about where that comes from.
So one thing I've said to a lot of people is like, there's very few actual promises that I'm going to actually state right off the bat. Like, I'm not going to promise, oh, we're going to have a rink built this year,
Mhm.
because I've never built a rink. I don't know what's involved. I don't know what the city's got coming down the pipeline.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to promise that.
Yeah.
I'm going to promise that I'm not going to raise the property taxes, because that's something I will kibosh, vote against, raise a huge stink if anyone tries to do that,
Mhm.
because that's not what the people of Airdrie need. Um, I'm not going to promise I'm going to lower it. If there's a chance in the budget we could, then definitely, because families in all across Alberta and Canada, they need a break. And if we can give it to our citizens of the city, then I'll do it. I don't think that the current council was in the right mind,
Right.
or had the best interests of the city of Airdrie in raising the taxes,
Yeah.
the property taxes for any of us. Um, I can save, like, for our family, like, we have struggled through the winter months,
Mhm.
and we're lucky that we have a family behind us, a big family that can help us in those tough times. There's a lot of families that don't have that,
Yeah.
and to turn around and raise the taxes just kind of shows that the current council does not have their finger on the pulse of the voters, of the people of the city, and then turning around and raising fees at a lot of the rec centers, or the buses, the transit services the city provides, raising those as well.
Yeah.
None of it made any sense, and it wasn't helping us when we should be reducing the cost of living, because everything else is going up that we can't affect. So why should we raise the prices of our stuff as well?
Yeah. And I mean, the other side of that is it's almost a slap in the face to the people who voted for you if you do it that way,
Mhm.
because these are the people who put you where you are and continue to give you a job.
Mhm.
And now you're going to charge them more money
Yeah.
as opposed to trying to do them a favor and help them.
That's a lot of politicians.
Yeah.
Like that, basically, since I turned 18 and started voting, that's what I quickly realized, that a politician will tell you one thing
And doing it.
and do another. And that's any level of government. And that's something I promise that I'm not going to do. If I say something and turns around that it doesn't, that, I have to go against it or whatever, I'm going to be upfront with everybody, in whatever form it takes, to make sure everybody knows that this was why, or this is what happened, or I made a mistake. There's going to be total accountability with me. But I mean, we see it in every election, whether it's provincial, federal, municipal. We see it not just here in Canada, we see it in other countries as well.
Yes.
Politicians will make those promises to get what they want, to get in that seat, and then, "Oh, we're good. Yeah, no,
We have the power.
we have the power now. There's nothing we can do." I mean, Canadian politics is some of the worst for it, because
Mhm.
you're not voting for the leader, you're voting for the party, even though we want to vote for the leader. That leader could be gone in 2 weeks if that party doesn't like him for something he did.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's one of the things that I do like about municipal, is that you're voting for the person.
Yeah.
Like, you're not voting for my political beliefs or anything like that. You're voting for me on what I say I'm going to do and what I can do. And that's it.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing for me that I've always seen is, even like you were saying, you are voting for a party, not necessarily for an individual, because even if you see someone that you might like in your community that's running for a seat, if they're connected to a party,
Mhm.
you're not voting for them, you're voting for a party line.
Mhm.
And that's always
Right.
it'll always be that way.
Yeah.
And that's at any level, really. Municipal, there's no real party connection, thankfully.
Mhm.
I think we need to do more things that way.
Yes.
Less influence from who's pulling the strings.
Yep. I mean, it's one of the biggest questions I've gotten since I put my hat in. People will email me or message me on Facebook and say, "Which party do you belong to? Better be conservative, or, you better be liberal." And I straight out say it. I
Feel
don't
free.
vote for a party. I vote on who I believe is going to do best for our country, or our city, or our
Province.
province.
Yeah,
And that's what I stick to.
100%. So your other big two that I've seen are healthcare and education.
Mhm.
So we'll start with healthcare. break down what it is you see when you look at our healthcare system in Airdrie and what your ideas are to, I don't want to say fix, but I guess, I mean, I don't think there is a better word maybe to repair it because
No, you're right.
from every level it's kind of broken.
Mhm. Um, Basically, like we all know that the healthcare, like the urgent care we have here, and pretty much everything to do with it is all up to the province.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have been saying online saying, "Oh, we can't deal with that. You shouldn't be bringing it up." Well, it needs to be brought up because it's a major concern for people of Airdrie. We have an urgent care that's um, way too small.
Mhm.
It's old, and we have 90,000 people in this city. That same lady that was talking to me the other day was telling me that half of the people that were in the waiting room at urgent care with her that day were from Calgary because the ERs are sending them up here because they can't cope down there. Now I know that's a Calgary issue, but it's now becoming our issue. And I know for a fact, I can speak for our family, that if there's an issue where we need to go to the hospital emergency, not like for the children, like we would go to the Children's Hospital in Calgary, but for something like, say, a cut or um, need to go to ER for something, we're going up to Didsbury. We're not going anywhere near Calgary.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a problem that's stemming somewhere else, and it's just flowing
Flowing
outwards.
to-
But we don't even have a hospital to speak of. We just have an urgent care,
Yeah.
and for 90,000 people, that's insane. I mean, I would love to say that we're getting a hospital. Can't say that.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say that I'm going to
There's
bring.
no.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm going to bring a hospital in. I'm not going to say that we're going to get the urgent care renovator to get a bigger one because that's not up to me.
Yeah.
But what I can say, and it's going to start day one if I get elected, is I'm going to be talking to everyone that I can up in Edmonton and out in Ottawa and even the county because it's three levels of government, and get as many people on board to get something done for our city,
Here.
to get
Yeah.
something here concrete. We were promised renovations on the urgent care. We were promised a bigger urgent care. When I first moved to Airdrie, we were promised a hospital between Airdrie and Calgary. That was 2010. That's 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Nothing. So first off, get answers. Find out what's going on. And then every day I'll be on the phone to somebody up in Edmonton, somebody over in Ottawa, to say, look, we need help. We need to get this taken care of.
And now
And now,
I
exactly.
think it has to
I
happen.
mean, not just with whether it's big urgent care or hopefully a hospital would be so nice. But it's have some services here so that the people of Airdrie don't have to go down to Calgary to get special checkups like proctology or do with cardiology, things like that. We could have that here in Airdrie. They're not having to travel down there. Hospice care, I think, is super important to
Absolutely.
have that here instead of loved ones having to travel back and forth between here and Calgary.
Absolutely.
Um, one of the things I will do if I get elected is I want to sit down with all of our first responders.
Mhm.
I know that's a little side on the topic, but I want to talk to them and see what we can do to help them make their job better and easier. And, if that means having from the province more ambulances sitting in this city instead of having them driving up from Calgary or driving. I know this was about 2, 3 years ago,
Mhm.
that incident where an ambulance responded to Airdrie and it came from Vulcan. That's just insane. I
Yeah,
don't believe it's
exactly.
happening anymore. I know that was in a crisis during they're having issues with the ambulances. But I want to make sure that we've got the necessary tools, that the citizens of Airdrie are healthy and they're safe
Properly
and
served.
properly served, and better quality of life all the way around to do with healthcare.
Of course.
And I'll do everything I can. And like I said, I will keep calling and bugging them until they're so annoyed
Right.
they'll do something.
Before we get to education, you actually jogged another issue that might just be an Airdrie issue. Um, but you mentioned the relationship kind of that Airdrie has with Calgary. And from the people I've spoken to in Airdrie, it's kind of 50-50 on where they sit. But there's always talk of Calgary eventually absorbing
Yep.
Airdrie. Where do you sit on that?
Um,
Because I know where I sit.
I don't want it. I mean, I moved out of Calgary for a reason. I was born and raised there. I love the city. I don't want to live there. If I did, I wouldn't have moved away.
Right.
And become, made Airdrie our home. I will do everything I can to fight against it. And my honest opinion, if you look at the city of Airdrie right now, and then you look at some of our other neighbor cities,
Mm-hmm.
such as, I know Carstairs is a lot smaller, but Cochrane, even Olds, they look totally different.
Yeah.
Um, Airdrie, in my own personal opinion, looks like a suburb of Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
It's all it looks like, a cookie cutter suburb of Calgary, so that it's just going to make it easier for it to be, eaten by the
Blended.
monster when it comes.
Yeah.
And I'm dead against that. I will do everything I can to stop it. But that's not just, standing up to Calgary. That's changing stuff here in the city as well.
To make sure we don't need Calgary.
We don't need Calgary, and we don't look appetizing to them as an easy meal. We need to make it as difficult as possible.
And see, the current mayor and the last mayor are both chomping at the bit
Yeah.
to make it happen.
Yeah.
And even for someone like me and my wife, like we only recently moved to Airdrie. We were in Calgary and then Edmonton and now here. And this is where we want to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something where, okay, Airdrie's great how it is.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need Calgary to absorb that. We don't need their help as much as they seem to believe that we do.
No.
It's not a necessity. We can build on our own. We can build without having to rely on the bigger city or even on the province or even realistically on the feds. Maybe on the province a little bit because we like to have a relationship.
Exactly. Yep.
But with the feds, like we don't necessarily need that help.
No.
Like we can do it on our own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're the right guy to make that case to say like, stop.
Yeah.
Calgary, we don't need you. We're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we can do it.
Like water treatment plant, sewage treatment plant. This is all things we could have had done and worked towards. Something small as an animal shelter. Our dogs are going down to Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
Our cats are going up to Crossfield. And I know that seems like a small thing, but if you're someone who's stuck at home, you're immobile, just with a disability or age, you don't have a car, you can't drive, and your cat gets out, how are you going to get up to Crossfield to get your cat or your dog? Go down to Calgary. Something simple and small as that, our city can't even provide.
Mm-hmm.
And it just blows my mind. I'm just, I want to be able to get Airdrie to the point where we have the services here so that our residents aren't having to travel to Calgary or other places to get those services. Like
Right.
An animal shelter is something so super small, or another swimming pool. One of the big major issues that is all over this election.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. To even a movie theater here in Airdrie would be nice, so that our teenagers don't have to
Go to Calgary.
Go to Calgary, go to Cross Iron, and catch a movie.
Yeah.
Keep them home. Plus the jobs it will create for all the industries we can bring and have them stationed here.
Absolutely. And I mean, you talk about business development too. And one of the ideas I had from a provincial level, as I told you before, I ran provincially in 2023.
Mhm.
We'll be running again in 2027. Is to have more of a model where someone can essentially pitch to either the municipal level or to the province to get some type of help or funding to start their business. And
Mhm.
based off of, is it a need for
Right.
that community? Is it a need for the province? Is it something that's going to contribute to our economy long term?
Definitely.
Right. And I think for a small business owner like yourself, you might see things kind of similarly
Yeah.
that way.
Definitely.
Is that something you'd be almost looking to implement in a way?
Definitely. I mean, one of the main reasons that got me thinking to do this was how Airdrie treats small business. Like City Hall treats it. The people, the community has been great, but trying to deal with City Hall on so many issues and the way they treat small businesses, it's basically constantly getting a door slammed in their face.
Yeah.
And that's got to stop, because you look at the downtown for Airdrie.
Mm-hmm.
We lost another business 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Mavericks closed down. And it was a great local business.
Yeah.
We lost the First Avenue Bakery during COVID. The movie theater also after COVID, but
Yeah.
the city did nothing to help.
Yeah.
To stop these things from happening. I know a couple of the councillors, they're running because they've had issues with the city with their small business.
Mm-hmm.
So if all these people are saying there's an issue, why isn't someone doing something about it?
Yeah.
If we can support our small business, we can hopefully get the jobs for our youth and our unemployed here in Airdrie working here in Airdrie. Instead of having our people having to drive to Calgary or elsewhere for work, they can stay here in Airdrie to work for these small businesses. I know that's not the case a lot of times with some of the businesses that are popping up here in Airdrie.
Right.
There's people from Calgary coming to work here. And that's another thing, that if we support our local small business, it means more jobs, more income for the economy. And yeah, it's just a much better place to live.
The majority of our residents are driving into Calgary every day, and not just because there's no work here. Like that side of it's a huge issue, but how much are they spending just in gas
Mhm.
and fuel to drive down? Because even to the edge of Calgary is 20 minutes,
Mhm.
right? And if they're working, say, in the south end of Calgary or downtown, you're looking at 40 minutes
Yep.
each way,
No, exactly.
right? That's not a short drive.
No.
It's a terrible commute.
Yeah. I do it a lot. So
Right.
delivering bounties. So yeah.
So I mean, to be able to give them the opportunity to stay
Stay
here
here.
in
Yeah,
Airdrie
exactly.
and not have to go to Calgary, like we've been saying, don't rely on them. Like stay here in your community, contribute here, help our economies move here. I mean, that would be the ideal answer.
Exactly. And even just something as small as just having jobs for our teenagers and young adults. So they're not having to drive to Calgary and you have to worry about them driving somewhere, that they have jobs just down the road.
Right.
Like something simple as that, which I know there's restaurants in Calgary, or sorry, here in Airdrie, that none of the employees are from here.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name who they are, but
They drive in from Calgary.
yeah, they drive in from Calgary. Even the owners of these said restaurants are from Calgary.
Yeah.
So, but yet we've got posts all over Facebook, and I've got friends and neighbors that are looking for jobs for their teenagers.
Yeah.
When spring was, when school got it.
Yeah.
And nothing at all in Airdrie.
And even for that youth employment, and it's no fault of their own. Obviously, the education system is a major problem. Not really, in my opinion, at least, not preparing them for the future
No,
accurately.
it was like that when I went to high school. Like I'll say right there that
Well, yeah,
I was not prepared for what I walked into getting out. My eldest daughter's 20. Yeah, same thing. So it's a couple of years ago she got out of high school. So yeah, it's always been that way.
Yeah.
But the schooling issue for Airdrie, I mean, I'm seeing it every day, especially since our kids went back to school.
Yeah.
And it's the traffic just on our street trying to get them to school, which is typically a 4-minute drive, has now turned into a 15-minute drive because of all the new construction and all the kids being shipped into the schools in our area because there's not enough room in the schools in the old areas, and all the construction, the new houses, their kids are being shipped down into here too. It's the growth of Airdrie has way gone past what our schools can handle, and it's gone past of what the province can basically build and or fix or band-aid until the new schools can get built. So I've the two new areas just north of us here are attached to Sagewood. When they're done, where are all those kids going to go? Because I know the schools in our neighborhood are packed because that's where my kids go.
Yeah.
And you can only put so many portables onto a school. And we're just going to ship them to another school in another district. That's just going to happen again there.
Right.
So I would totally put a slowdown on the growth of the city until the province can catch up with the schools. And of course, I'm going to be on the phone with them every day for that. But until the province can catch up on the education, building new schools, expanding our existing ones, repairs, we can't grow as fast as the current city council is making us.
Right. And see, there's a couple things I want to ask you because it's things that I don't think any mainstream media is going to ask you about. I think they're afraid to ask a lot of people. But hypothetically, you're elected Airdrie's mayor.
Okay.
First meeting with the premier. She comes down and wants to ask, what do you need? What does that conversation look like when you're in?
What do we need? Right off the bat, I'm going to say a hospital. I mean, that's something's been said for the longest time, and find out what's going on. So it'd be healthcare. Healthcare is the biggest one that when I meet, if I get elected and I meet the premier, that's the first thing I'm going to ask. It's like you've got 90,000 voters, well, not 90,000 votes, but you got 90,000 people in the city, and a vast majority of them are voters.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do about it? Like, whether it's a hospital between Calgary and Airdrie, fine. It's something.
Yeah.
Like, we'll take it. But that's the first thing I'm going to say. And I pretty much know what the answer is going to be, but that's the first thing I'll say to her.
Now, if she were to ask for feedback on her actions, on her job, what's your answer to that one? And this one might be more difficult.
I think it's where I have to put my politician hat here and be PC or political about it.
You don't have to.
I like the way that She has stood up for Alberta to the federal government um, on that. I'm not. Um, I mean, I know there's the whole issue with redesigning and redoing our healthcare system. I think that's caused a lot of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's like any politician. You like some of the things they do, you like some things they don't do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know she's on constructive criticism. But I like the fact that she's got the oil patch in her mind as protection. And she wants Alberta to thrive. Could she do better on the healthcare? Yeah, I believe she could. Do better with our education system? Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would love to have a strong, prosperous Alberta because that's where I live. That's where my family is growing. And it's home, and it's what's put food on our table. I mean, I've got family members who've moved away from here because of they don't like the political climate, this and the other. They don't like the oil, and I'm like, you know what? We can stop bad mouthing oil because you know what? It's put food on your niece and nephews, and it's put food on their table. So, um, I definitely have nothing complaints with her on that.
Okay.
Just healthcare, education, she could do a lot better, and hope she continues to fight for Alberta and Albertans with out west, east. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, and looking at out east, at our current nation's capital,
Mhm.
Prime Minister comes into Airdrie for his first meeting.
Yep.
What does that look like for you?
Well, see, I'll be straight on honest. I didn't vote for him, and it doesn't mean it was like I have voted Liberal way far in my past.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I agreed with what they were saying or what the deal was, those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely did not vote for him in this past election. But I know that as an elected official for Airdrie, that's not my concern anymore.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is for the people. I need to work with everyone that I can. And if that means I, need to forget who I wanted as leader of our country, done. It's gone because I know we'll have to deal with
It's not going to happen, right?
exactly with our prime minister, Carney, and I will give him the utmost respect and work with him and to get what our city needs.
I think you'd probably handle that probably better than I would if that were.
Probably better than some of my family members too.
Yeah,
Definitely, but I mean, you've got to put emotion aside and things like that to a point.
of course.
Um, uh, like personal emotion side, but for emotion for what city needs, yeah, I might get a little heated with them saying, "We need these things. You need to do something about it."
There's one other thing that I actually am looking to get educated on as well that I've heard just because I've had friends from my own hometown that have been in the mayor's office. There's I don't know if it's every year, every couple of years, there's the Canadian Mayor's Meeting.
Mhm.
It's held in different municipalities
Yep.
and cities around the country. What do you know about that, and what would be your
Honestly, I know
take
about
on that?
all I know about it is the handout that the city hall has given everyone who's put their name in,
Mhm.
and that Mayor Brown would go to this once or twice a year, something like that.
Mhm.
And there's another group of whatever that they belong to, and that's it. That's all they told me about it. Um, it's something I have not looked into because I mean I've got my hands full
Mhm.
with this election, just meeting people and talking to people, and with our business as well.
Mhm.
Um, it's something like I will definitely look into if I get elected and say, you know what, this is kind of weird, or you know what, this is going to be really beneficial. We should continue doing this. If it's something that I have heard rumors about one group. I'm not going to bring it up, but I've heard rumors of one group of local politicians or local cities.
Mhm.
And I've heard that we have to pay a pretty hefty fee to be in it. Yeah, no, I'm not
Not gonna
up
do
for
that.
that. That doesn't sound at all fiscally responsible for the city. But I mean, if it's just something to go meet other mayors and create relationships and I mean learn because I've never been a mayor before.
Right.
So I am totally up for that. But if it was some kind of
Huge fee.
yeah, huge fee that and just a complete utter waste of my time when I could be serving the people of Airdrie and getting done what needs to get done. Yeah, no, I'm not interested.
That's a good thing to hear. See, Airdrie, all the people here, for once, you might have a mayor that's not going to waste your money and not going to put taxpayer money on things we actually don't need. So, I mean, to me, the answer is easy.
That
Um,
actually brings it up because they're you see the pay structure they released that information as well.
Mhm.
And there was something on there that the mayor gets a per diem for meetings. I don't know what that is. I have not asked anybody about it. I don't really care.
First time hearing of it.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, but and like allowance for a car per month. I'm like,
What?
I've got a car. I don't need that. So it's like, no, that seems a complete utter waste. This meeting thing, I will, of course, I get elected, I'll see what it's about. And if I don't need them, to say no, keep it. It
Yeah.
just seems ridiculous to me. I mean, hey, if you could get me a cell phone that everybody can have and call me, so it's not the one I use with
Personal
my
phone.
family and something, that would be great. So that's
minimal
like
cost.
$50.
Yeah, that's minimal
Yeah,
cost.
just add some texting in there. Don't really need any data. But
It's like 10 cents per Airdrie
exactly,
resident.
exactly.
That's it.
You can throw it on our family plan. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But just things like that, small things add up. And yeah, I'm not doing this to become rich or whatever, because I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
So it's wasted money in a lot of senses.
So just before we wrap up here, Airdrie election is October
October 20th.
October
Yeah,
20th.
Monday.
So what would be your bid to the people of Airdrie for putting you in the mayor's seat after, what is it, 14 years of
Yeah,
Peter Brown?
14, 15, yeah. Biggest thing is, I can make it real simple. If you want change, vote for me. If you don't want change, keep status quo. Don't vote, because then it's going to stay the same, and it's going to be the same complaints in 4 years that we're having right now. A city that's growing way too fast, that can't support any of the infrastructure. City council that doesn't listen, is not in touch with the people of Airdrie. The rec centers, and one pool for an entire city of 90,000. That's, we found out today, is being the repairs are going to take a lot longer than they were supposed to. Just crazy things you think would be in a city of our size that would have been taken care of, that we wouldn't be having these questions, but yeah, we are. If you want to see all that change and go in the other direction, then vote for me. If you're happy with the status quo, then there you go.
Dave, I see you've got shirts for your campaign
Yes, we
as
do.
well.
Yep.
And for more information, where can people find shirts and you?
So basically, our website is daveforairdrie.ca. On there's all my contact information. So email for the campaign, my direct phone number, so you can call or send me a text message, as well as Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We'll be going live here pretty quick. You can message me and contact me through all those. And if you see me walking around Airdrie with this shirt on, come up and talk to me. Just come up and say hi, ask a question. It's not a problem. You're not bothering me. That's part of the job.
All right, Dave, thanks for joining us today.
No worries. Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you all for watching today. If you want to support Dave in Airdrie, help make him the mayor, go visit the link in the description, daveforairdrie.ca, grab one of his shirts, and pledge your support for him. If you want to support the show and help us keep the lights on and keep the show running, hit the other link in the description to go to Teespring and purchase our merch. We have hoodies, tees, mugs, you name it, it's there. Helps us keep the show going. Appreciate all the support. We'll see you guys very soon.